Hey there, it's Krystal Everdeen, and today I'm going to share with you how to crochet this floral granny square top. For this project, I'm using light blue, white, and yellow yarn, all 100% acrylic, size 4, as well as a size 5mm hook. Now for this project, the number one thing you need to learn is how to make this granny square. And for this granny square, you're first going to start off with yellow yarn, then we're going to add the white yarn, and then the blue yarn, or if you don't want this to be blue, you want it to be a different color, then whatever color you choose, but for me, it is light blue. So we're going to go ahead and grab our yellow yarn for the center of the flower. We're going to make a slip knot, and after we've created that slip knot, we are going to put our hook in, and once we put our hook in, we're going to chain 3. So from here, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're left with a little chain like this, and then we're going to go into that very first chain. I know it's going to be tough, very, very small, but from here we're going to make a single crochet. So yarn over and then through that stitch, then yarn over and through the last 2 loops, and you're left with a little cluster like this. And now we're going to yarn over and make a double crochet inside of the center of that little cluster. So you're just going to poke your hook into the center of the cluster and then make a double crochet. Now if you're not familiar with what a double crochet is and you are completely new to crochet, I do have a crocheting for beginners video that I will link in the description box below. You can practice with that for a while, maybe try my more beginner friendly videos as well, and then come back to this one. But yeah, from here you're just going to continue going into the center of that little cluster and make a total of 8 double crochets. So I've made 2. Now I'm going to go back into that center stitch and make a 3rd double crochet, then another double crochet. And just as a refresher, a double crochet is yarn over through the stitch, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through the last 2 loops. And without even trying, you're going to make this little circular shape, and that's exactly what you want. And again, in order for the granny square to work, you need to make 8 of these. So make sure that you make no more and no less, because it's going to throw everything off if you do not make 8. So let me go ahead and count how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1 more and 1 last double crochet. And then from here, we're going to seal this circle by going into the very first stitch that we made and then just slip stitching. And yay, now we have a little center for our flower. And from here, we're going to attach the yarn that's going to be the petals. For me, I wanted the petals to be white, so I'm going to grab my white yarn. And from here, you could attach it any way you want. If you want to, cut the yarn from the yarn ball and then tie the 2 together in a knot, or however other way you want to attach it. But for me, all I do is put the new yarn on the hook and then bring it through the existing loop, tighten the old color so that it holds on to the new color, and then I just continue on from here. So from here, I'm going to go into that first double crochet that I made, and I'm going to make 3 double crochets inside of that 1 previous double crochet. So from here, I'm just going to continue going into this same stitch until I've made 3 double crochets. So that was 2, and this is 3. So this is what it looks like, and that's going to serve as a little petal. And then I'm going to go into the next double crochet and do the exact same thing. So just make 3 double crochets inside of the next double crochet. So within every yellow double crochet that you come across, you're going to make 3 double crochets with the white yarn. So this is the next stitch. So I'm going to make 3 double crochets. This is 2. And this is 3, and it looks like it's all together right now like this, but once we add the blue, we're going to be separating the 3, so they're going to be distinct petals. but for now just make sure that you make only 3 in every single yellow double crochet. So yes, 3 in every single stitch all along the circle that you made. And after you've come all around, it's going to look something like this, kind of like an egg, but it's going to be a flower once we add the blue in, or the next color in. So from here, you're at the very end, you've already made 8 of the sets of 3 double crochets inside of every stitch, and you're going to complete this row by slip stitching into the first stitch that you made with the white yarn, or whatever colored yarn you chose for the petals. And this is what this looks like. And again, I do leave the yarn attached to the project until the very end, but you don't have to do that. So from here, I'm going to add the last color, which is the blue. So I'm going to attach it the way I did before, just put it on to the hook and then start crocheting with it. Give it a little tug so it's nice and secure. And then from here, we're going to make some more double crochets. So we're kind of going to go into this opening right underneath where we are right now. And we're going to make yet another set of 3 double crochets inside of this one opening. So that's 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Now this opening here should be the space in between the first set of 3 double crochets that you made and the last set of 3 double crochets that you made. So from here, you're going to reach on over to the next space in between the double crochets, the set of double crochets, and you're going to crochet yet another set of 3 double crochets, 2 and 3 into that area. So this is the petal, and then you're going to reach on over into the space in between the next 2 sets of 3 double crochets. So from here, you're going to crochet 3 double crochets, but in this one, we're actually going to do something different. So this is going to serve as a corner piece, and in order to make a corner piece, we're going to chain 1 after the set of 3 double crochets, and then we're going to crochet another set of 3 double crochets inside of that same opening, and that's going to create a little corner piece so that our project is now a square. So this is what the little corner piece looks like, and we're going to be making 1 on each corner, so we're going to be making a total of 4 of them to make this a square. And from here, we're going to work on that piece in between, so it's going to be separated by just 1 set of 3 double crochets in between, and then it's going to be a corner piece, and then a set of double crochets in between, and then a corner piece, a set of double crochets in between, and then this is going to be a corner piece. So from here, we're going to reach on over to the next opening between 3 sets of double crochets, and we're going to create that space in between, which is the 1 set of 3 double crochets. And then from here, we're going to reach on over to what's going to be the next corner piece. So it's going to be 1 set of double crochets followed by a chain 1, then another set of double crochets inside of that same opening, and that's going to serve as a corner piece. So this is what it looks like so far. And now you can see that it's starting to turn into a square. So now we're going to reach on over to the next opening in between sets of double crochets, and this one's going to just be a single set of 3 double crochets. And then from here, we're going to make the next corner piece. Oops, and make that last double crochet again. Okay, so from here, we're going to reach on over to the next opening right over here, and this is going to be a corner piece. So it's 1 set of 3 double crochets followed by a chain 1, then another set of 3 double crochets, and then from here, we're going to reach on over to the next opening in between the petals, and then we're going to crochet a single set of 3 double crochets. And then from here, this is what the project looks like so far, almost done. So from here, this first set of double crochets in the last color is actually the second half of the corner piece. So from here, you're going to reach on over to that same opening that you went into for the beginning of this row, and you're going to crochet the second set of 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then you're going to go into the first stitch with a slip stitch, and that completes the granny square. Yay! So yep, that's what you need to do in order to complete this project. And depending on your size and preference, how long, how wide, how fitted you want the shirt to be, that's how many granny squares you're going to have to make. For me, I actually made 30 of these, so a total of 30 floral granny square pieces, and that's because I wanted it to be 5 squares across on both sides, so in the front and the back, and then also 3 granny squares long, so 5 granny squares wide and then 3 granny squares long. That's how I wanted the width and length of my top to be, and how I came across that conclusion by using a regular tank top and figuring out how many I needed in order for it to fit me properly. So let me just lay out my tank top right here. So this is just a regular tank top that fits me nicely, and I wanted the shirt to be just as wide as this one, so I kind of measured out how many I would need in order for it to properly cover me. And it was 5 across, and obviously it would be the same on my back, so 5 in the back as well. And I could just like attach them to the side right here and then fold it over. And then to figure out how long I wanted it to be more of a crop top. So this tank top actually fits me a little long, like it actually hits my hips, but I want this crop top to be higher than that. So I made sure to make it shorter than the actual tank top, and this is what I came up with. So that's how I figured out how to do it. I don't know if you wanted to use the same method as me and grab yourself either a tube top that you like the length and width of, and then kind of lay out however many granny squares you're going to need on top of that. Or you could use a tank top like I did. Or just try to hold the granny squares together against your body and then see how many you may need to actually cover yourself the way you want to. But yeah, this is what I did. I just, got a tank top that I like, and then I measured it out like that. Figured out how many I need to cover the front, and then that's the same I need to cover the back. And yeah, turned out to be a total of 30 granny squares. So yeah, you're just going to have to continue making more and more of these granny squares. So just follow the exact same pattern that I just explained to you, and do that 30 times or less if you want your top to be shorter, or more if you want it to be longer. Typically, I'm a size small to extra small, depending on the top. So hopefully that helps if you were wondering what size I am, to see if you could like figure out how many you may need to make. But yeah, I suggest using the tank top method. I think it's the easiest and the simplest way to figure out how the top is going to fit you and how many granny squares you need. So yes, have fun making all of these granny squares, and once you are done, you're going to attach all of these together. So let's start with the granny square that we left off on. So whenever I detach the yarn from the yarn ball, I just pretty much cut it right here. Make sure that it has enough leftover yarn for me to tie it in the back right here so that it doesn't unravel on me later on. And normally I would also cut the blue yarn and then just finish off the project by bringing the excess yarn through the last loop and then giving it a tug. But for this one, I'm actually just going to keep it like this because I'm going to start attaching all of these granny squares together. And how I'm going to do that is by grabbing the granny squares that I want to put together, putting them together like this, and then aligning them where I want them to be attached to. Then just slip stitching through both granny squares. So I just align it, go through both stitches on one side and then the stitch on the other side, and then slip stitch through both one side and then the other side, and then slip stitch through both until I reach the very end, and that's what it should look like. Nice and attached on one end. Perfect. So from here I'm just going to cut the yarn from the yarn ball, attach it to the other side, and then attach another one like this. And I'm going to attach 5 total, so that's going to be a line of 5 granny squares all together like this. So right here I attach them, and then right here I attach them, and then one more right here I'll attach them, and then I will let you know what it looks like. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to do right now. So I'm just going to slip stitch all of them together and then show you what it looks like. And this is what the project looks like once all 5 are connected. So again, all I did was make sure that I reattached the yarn back to where I need it to in order to like attach the new one. So it's over here, and then I just reattached it to this side, and then when I needed to attach it to this side, I just attached it to that side, and so on and so forth. So this is where I attached them to, right here, right here, right here, and right here. And then this is the back side, this is the front side. So from here, I'm just going to attach them all together, essentially just doing the same thing everywhere where I want them to be attached to. I just slip stitch across, and you could use any strategy you want to. You could attach 5 of them at a time and then attach the strips together, or you could attach them all individually like this, or however way you want. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it either, but all I know is I'm going to attach 5 across and then 3 down, and it's going to look like this rectangle right here. So that's what I'm going to be working on next, and then after that I'll show you what it looks like and then show you what I'm going to do for the back side. So I've just finished attaching them all together, so this is going to be the front piece, and I'm essentially going to do the exact same thing all over again for the back piece. And then all I'm going to do is, once I have 2 of these pieces, I'm just going to align them like this and then attach them all together right here, and then again on the other side right here, so it'll be like a round piece. And after that, then I'll be done with the main portion of the top. And you could either leave it as a tube top, or you could add straps. I want to add straps just for that extra security, and I'll check back in with you once I have 2 of these pieces. Okay, so now that I have 2 of these pieces right here, this is what they look like. They're just identical pieces of the floral granny squares. One of them is going to be the front and one of them is going to be the back. So I'm going to attach them like so. So I'm going to attach them on this side right here, and then I'm going to attach them on this side right here, and then it's just going to be a little tube top that you could like shimmy your way into. So yeah, that's all you need to do. Of course, like I said before, you could attach them any way you want. You could have just like attached all 10 across. So it'd just be like one long piece and then just attach them together like that. Totally up to you, doesn't really matter, as long as they're all attached in a way where you could put your body in the middle. So yeah, I'm just going to attach them and then I'll show you what I do next. So now that I've attached both pieces, this is what the project looks like. It's now like a circular piece, so you could like shimmy your body into it in the middle there. So from here, you could either, again, leave it as a tube top, or you could add straps. I am going to add straps, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my blue yarn again, because I want the straps to be blue, and I'm going to figure out where I want to make the straps here. So let's see, what do I want to be the front? What would I like to be the back? I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I like the way that this side looks, so I'm going to make some straps here and here. So one granny square width away from the edge of the project. So I'm just going to insert my yarn right here, And then I'm going to chain a chain that is long enough to go around my arm, and I'll let you know how many I chain after I've chained them, but I've never made this top before, so I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go along. But when I check back in with you, I'll let you know how many I chained. So I ended up chaining 50 chains, and from here I'm going to figure out where I want to actually attach it to. So I'm just going to kind of line it up where I think it should be attached to, which is probably somewhere around here maybe. And of course you could try on your project and actually pinpoint exactly where you need to attach the strap, but I'm just going to use trial and error. So I'm just going to attach it. Yeah, that seems right. Right? That seems right. So I'm going to attach it by just using a slip stitch. And then from here, I actually want my strap to be a little bit thicker than this because I don't like when straps are just a chain, because I feel like it kind of digs into your skin, and it's also not enough support for me. So I'm going to make one single crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch my way all along the chain back to where I started, just to make this strap a little bit thicker. And after I do that, what I like to do is when I reach the very end is of course go into the very last stitch, and also when I touch back onto the main part of the top, I like to go into the stitch, slip stitch, and then go one over and just do another slip stitch just for good measure, just like to make sure everything stays in place. And then after that, that's when I cut the yarn from the yarn ball, and then I bring in the excess yarn through the last loop, give it a tug, and then I kind of tuck it in a little bit. And then at the very end, that's when I cut all of the excess pieces of yarn. But yeah, after you have made that strap, you're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing to the other side. And now that you have two straps and a bodice, you're good to go. Yay! Congratulations, you have crocheted this floral granny square top. So cute. I really love the way this turned out. I love the colors, the light blue with the white petals and the little yellow center. It's just so adorable. I love it. It's perfect for spring and summer, and maybe even to layer during the fall and winter. It's kind of cute. I was trying it over the t-shirt that I'm currently wearing right now. I'm like, oh, that actually looks pretty good. Like, I could probably use this as like a layering piece. But anywho, I'll definitely be rocking it this summer, and I hope that you will be too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it either interesting, entertaining, or helpful. And if you're looking for more beginner-friendly video tutorials, one, I do have that Crochet for Beginners video that will be linked in the description box below, as well as other beginner-friendly videos, or if you just love watching crochet videos in general, I have multiple crochet playlists on my channel. So yeah, go ahead and have fun. I hope you have a wonderful time crocheting. Don't forget to follow me on my social medias. That will also be in the description box below. Just make sure you check out the description box below. There's a lot of information and links in there. But yeah, go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Krystal Everdeen for a fun time. Thank you so much again for watching. Don't forget to click that red subscribe button if you have not already, so I can see you next time. Bye! And have a magical day.